What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Vlad the Rad production. Today, I'm going to talk to you kind of about two experiences I've had in starting a cast piece. Um, I'm a big fan of Twin Peaks and the prequel movie Fire Walk with Me. I live in the Pacific Northwest, which is convenient considering North Bend, Washington is where they filmed a lot of that show. Um, I've actually been up there and had my pie and damn good cup of coffee. Um, but last year, Kimmie Roberts and Harry Goaz were at Crypticon Seattle, and so I started a cast piece there. And then this year, Ray Wise and Sheryl were at Crypticon, and so I added them to it. Um, Side note, before you guys give me a hard time, I know Harry Goaz was in Fire Walk with Me. He did film scenes for the movie, but they were deleted. But he was a pretty pivotal character in the TV show. I did add him to this poster, which is a Fire Walk with Me poster. Obviously, Sheryl Lee there as Laura Palmer. I did add him to the poster. He did film scenes, even if they were cut. I don't really care. I don't really give a shit. Fight me, whatever. But I added him to it. So anyway, a little bit about this. Uh, the movie Fire Walk with Me came out in '92. I believe the show was either '89 and '90 or '90 '91. It did 2 seasons. David Lynch did it. It's kind of like a who's who of actors now. Heather Graham, one of my favorites, she was in it. Um, but anyway, so last year, Kimmie Roberts and Harry Goaz, like I said. His was a pretty simple, just in the gold there. It says, "Hi Vlad." Uh, Wrote his name, Harry Goaz. He's got a good signature, and Andy with a little peace sign. Peace, brother. Um, Kimmie Roberts, if you've had a chance to meet her, she's actually phenomenal. She's such a kind-hearted, nice person. She was really cool to me. To Vlad, coffee, donuts, and love, Kimmie Roberts, or Robertson, excuse me. Uh, she was really cool to me. Actually, everyone I met here actually was really cool. I did have a kind of a more personal experience with Ray Wise and Sheryl Lee, and I'll explain that here in a second. But if you get a chance to meet any of the cast from this show, they're all really cool, really down to earth, nice people. But this year, I lucked out Leland Palmer, Ray Wise, who you've probably seen in everything else because he's in everything. Phenomenal guy, super super good actor. Reaper was another good show he was in. He did the Jeepers Creepers too. He's been around. He's done a lot of stuff. But so when I got up to the tables, Sheryl Lee and Ray were right next to one another, and Sheryl Lee had a gaggle of people, and Ray had just finished up with someone. So I walked up to Ray Wise first, and I actually have a portrait of Catherine Coulson on my foot, who, if you're not familiar or if you don't know who she is, she played Log Lady. And the reason I got that tattoo was on my right foot, I have a portrait of George Romero. And for people who aren't into the horror, scene or whatever, the common question was, is that your grandfather? Is that your dad? And, being the grandfather of zombie genre, I was like, or the godfather, whatever you want to call him, I would always be like, yeah, it's my dad, it's my granddad or whatever. So I always thought like, I needed to get a female character who was as eerie and weird, and you know what I mean? Um, and especially because of the tattoo I have, it's just this really strange look in his face. Anyway, so I put Log Lady, Catherine, on my left foot, and when I got up to Ray, I was like, hey man, like you got to check this out because Catherine died. I believe it was about 3 years ago now, maybe 4 years ago. Anyway, and he looked at the portrait and he was just like blown away. He's like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I kind of told him the story. Well, he actually interrupted Sheryl Lee as she was talking to some people to show her this picture. He's like, you got to see this. This is amazing. So he shows her the picture of my tattoo on my phone. And she's just like, oh my God, and I was like, well, let me finish up with Ray and I'll come back to you. But I talked to Ray for a long time, and oddly enough, Ray didn't really want to talk to me about any of his work. He wanted to talk to me about my tattoos and my appearance, and I thought it was actually kind of cool. I know, when these guys are at conventions and stuff, it can get old or tiring because you got to figure they answer the same questions 100 times in a row. You know what I mean? But it was kind of cool and a unique experience to talk to someone who's cool and his experience, life experience. As someone like Ray Wise, who's the most dapper dude, by the way. Him and Bruce Buffer are like the most dapperest dudes. But anyway, so we talked for a long time, and he actually really gave me a cool inscription. It says, "To Vlad, you are a unique individual. It was wonderful to meet you. All the best from Leland P. Ray Wise." And he actually has a really cool signature. I don't know how. Let's see if we can get that in there. He actually has a really, really neat signature. I liked it a lot. So anyway, I finished up with Ray, and I went over to Sheryl, and she saw my tattoo, and she was just like blown away. And so I told her this story about, how I had Romero and everyone was like, "Oh, it's your grandfather, blah, blah." So I told her that story and she was like, laughing and, like I said, she had just passed a few years ago. And Sheryl Lee was just going, we were having a great time just talking about their experience, filming together. And, she just loved the story of why I had it. And I actually have a little button here. It says, "I love Twin Peaks," and she just was like going nuts. She was just like so in love with it. But she gave me a really cool inscription, and it's very personal, obviously, for the tattoo reason, for the experience of meeting them and the situation and everything. And she says, "To Vladimir, send Grandma a hug from me. Many blessings, Sheryl." And she did it in like a silver. Wait, let me see if I can get it. Yeah, there you go. And it doesn't show up the greatest, but I don't care. Like this will never be for sale or anything like that. It'll never leave my. It's like my Texas Chainsaw Massacre collection. It'll never leave my. Yeah, when I'm dead, they better not sell it and bury me with that. But I'm really happy. I got 4 so far. I'm working on more. It was a really cool experience. If you don't do conventions, or if you're not close to one, I suggest you give it a shot and try to get to one. I know that there's Crypticon does a bunch of different shows. There's in New Jersey, Texas, and stuff. It's really cool to go out and meet these people. I didn't know originally, but where I live here is called Shelton, Washington. C.J. Graham, who played Jason in Friday the 13th Part 6, is from Shelton, and him and I were roommates. Or not me and C.J., but his cousin and I. And this last year, and I actually met C.J. back in 2011. At Crypticon in Seattle, and it was a really cool experience meeting him. He's a really super nice guy, huge, but super nice guy. And his cousin ended up passing away not that long ago, and it was cool because CJ was at Crypticon again this year, and him and I got to talk for about an hour about his cousin and just life down here in Washington and all, and what he's up to. But it was just a really cool experience, and I feel like it definitely brings the community, the horror community, closer together, and you definitely meet some people that you wouldn't normally meet, or people that you don't normally see out in society. It's cool to have that kind of a community. So today I should be getting the Zombie Fright Pack, which released July 1st. Should be coming in mail today. So we'll look out for another video probably tonight or maybe tomorrow. I'll try to get it done tonight. But the themes were Jaws, Evil Dead, Friday the 13th Part 2, I Spit on Your Grave, and The People Under the Stairs. So those are the franchises that are coming in the box. So tune back. We'll see what we get in. Hopefully some really cool stuff. And then we also got the Fright Crate at the end of the month. And, we always got stuff coming in and all the time. So come back and check us out. You guys have a good one.